Welcome back. We're entering part 3 of the great masking story. Okay, what we got here? Let's refresh. We open up with one layer, and we separate the layer by right-clicking and saying Use Smart Object. We've got 2 layers. Both layers are smart objects. We can open them up independently in Photoshop. Let's click on the bottom one. Bottom one shows you the clarity slider has been moved to the right. It's the grungy one. On the top layer, we have the smooth skin layer. Clarity slider has moved to the left. Okay. Quick discussion here about the layer palette and how it works. Inevitably, we view the image on our screen as seen from the top of the layers palette. In other words, you will be looking from the word poorly down onto this top layer, then to the layer underneath it. So, where we see the smooth skin, I'm going to Alt click the mask, where you see the white of the smooth skin, that is the application of the mask, saying that on this layer, only the white skin, only where the white is, where the skin is, that will be seen as you look down through the stack. And you'll look down through that onto the more grungy layer underneath. And you'll get the hair in that on the second layer. Right, so I'm going to control click that again. Where it's black, it is the layer underneath will shine through. If we were to make this whole area black, everything except the skin, I'm going to move on to X key here. Make sure I'm normal. I'm just going to paint rather quickly here. Make sure your opacity and your flow up to 100%. I don't think it can take forever to paint. What it's going to do is going to tell Photoshop to view the picture in this window that only where it's white, complete white, must use that layer in its how it previews the picture for us. Where it's partly white, or not 100% white and not 100% black, it'll show the same percentage of the layer underneath. The easiest way to do that is to do an example for that. But at the moment, we're just going to quickly continue the removing of the white and making it completely black. So now, when you look down on the layer, I'm not going to go over the hands because there must be soft reflection down here. The Photoshop now is only going to take that adjustment which you applied, the smoothing, and apply only the adjustment to her face, as you can see there. Nothing else in the face and hands, nothing else changing the image. From here, we'd go and complete the image. We'd flatten it and do our normal techniques, which I'm going to show you because some of them are actually quite interesting. I might as well take a quick launch at it here. To accept these two, I'm going to just say layer, flatten image. I must make sure that as far as I want to go with my raw files, because once I do this, my raw files are going to be no longer accessible in this document. Layer, flatten image. Okay, we have a plug here and a table which you need to cut the bottom off. Suppose that's pretty easy. I'm going to start with a new layer, and I'm going to zoom in on the plug. I'm going to grab a clone tool, shortcut S, and make it a bit smaller, and I'm just going to clone out the plug. I'm going to pick different areas so I don't mess with the nature of the white around the plug. It must look authentic. Right, that's easy. And now we're going to just use a crop to sort out the table and lose a bit of the edges here. So I'm going to say layer flatten, and I'm going to move over to the crop tool, shortcut C, and I'm just going to hold down the shift key to keep proportion on it. And I'm just going to take out to where the hands and reflection starts on the table. A little bit short there. Continue. I'm also going to get a chance now to center it. It is symmetrical, this image, so I do want to make sure I center it correctly. I have a little space on your head here, but I don't want to close it up too much. You must have a bit of space to breathe into. And we'll close it down just a tad though. And when I get it to my perception, what is right by me, then I can accept it. It looks pretty good. I'm going to say it's good to go. And now let's have a look at the picture. There we go. Reflection works well. Table's no longer too adverse. And our model looks pretty. Now from here, I'm just going to do my finishing touches. I would normally make sure I go through a noise. I have this plugin for noise because you can see that there's still a noise on it. I'll quickly do the eyes over here. Eyes are quite a long. We can do a long process for it. There are about 7 or 8 different layers that we're going to do. We're just going to do a quick one here. I'm just going to go to adjustment layers. Adjustment layers are really, really lightweight, and they really have a mask built in, so they're really cool to use. And I'm just going to pick up the one that says brighten contrast, and I'm going to brighten it up. So the white eyes. I'm going to add the contrast in to get the color back on the iris of the eyes, and I'm going to go to the layers department so you can see what's happening here with the white mask. It means that application is applied. It means like the whole thing is under the same application. Now what I want to do is I want to limit that to the eyes. I'm going to do it by painting it back in. So I need to first make that completely black to allow the background layer to shine through. I'm going to go to my bucket tool, make sure my foreground color is black, click in image, voila, that goes black. The mask is now black. Now I can zoom into the eyes. I can grab my brush. What I have to make sure here is my brush, everything here is set to normal, 100, 100. And I need to make sure my foreground color is white, so I paint white onto a black mask. Now, as you said earlier on, where it's white, application is revealed. So here we go. I'm going to paint the whole eye, and you'll see that that application that we did is now being applied to the eye. Since you've got nice catch lights in eye too, what you do is might go and work on the catch lights as well. On the other side, I'm going to do obviously both eyes, but kind of wedge in one eye, I don't like it. And that's the second one. You can see we've got little ragged blotches here. Yeah, I might even correct that if I want to really be specific about that. And I could even do the eyelashes as well. Right, what you want to do is kind of make the pupils black and the whites white. So that we're going to do a couple more here while I launch into this. I'm just going to use curves. I'm going to dip the curves to do the pupils' eyes, which you can see over there. Same application. Maybe the mask is white. I need to make it black. So bucket, foreground black, and click in the mask, and voila. Now grab your brush, change your foreground to white. Shortcut for that, by the way, is X. You'll find it saves you a whole lot of time and trouble. I'm just going to paint where the pupils would be. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is just do the catch lights, and then I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go back into the adjustment layers, grab my curves, do the opposite curve now, really up, brighten those, cuts it up really a lot. Same process, bucket, foreground color black, click an image, go to the brush, change it back to white so you can paint it, and just quietly brush those little parts there. And that will be around about it. Now, let's say I want to correct those other little parts of the eye, just to make it look from far away a lot better. I'm going to use a clone tool for that. What I need to do is I need to do this on a layer that's kind of independent, so I'm going to do a layer underneath there. I'm going to grab my brush tool, I'm going to grab my clone tool, clone is S, and I'm going to make it a whole lot smaller. It's not going to really be brusher. And I'm just going to pick some parts of the image that are white, and I'm just going to clone over those areas which tended to speckle out a bit. I think it was from the over-sharpening that we did. So I'm just going to do it very gently here. Areas here. See, where I'm painting is actually painting white, and the grey that is endemic to it is no longer with it. So what I could do to that is just to smoothen that out. So I go to a brush tool. It's a really cool brush in CS6, a mixer brush, and I'm just going to mix those colors together. Really fun tool. Be careful of your settings on your mixer brush, by the way, because you can really cook it. Settings. Look at the settings I've got here. I think it's like 88889 right at the end. They just assist us in not making this application too hairy when you do it. And trust me, when you do it the first time, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just moving over to the other side of the eye here, so we can do the same thing. Getting this odd thing floating at me there. Soundpost shouting at me. I don't really like. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just use my brush and get that area a little bit whiter. And at the same time, taking away those speckle bits. Right, let's zoom out and see what it did. Hold on the Z key for shortcut for zoom, and go for screen. And he's got some really bright eyes. They're probably a little bit too bright. But fortunately, we have got the a layer that allows us to kind of dictate exactly what we want by changing the opacity of the layer. Take the opacity out here. I'm going to drag it out a bit, drag it all the way, and just stop at the bottom, bring it back. And just put a little bit on here. I see I've made such a radical change. Turn the layer on and off. And just wait for it to rasterize so it can get with us. And just go, there's a big application of the brightness, maybe take that down as well a bit. And that might just make it a little bit more. Now we can go to the bottom layer and take it up just a tad, and just counter the two until we get exactly what we want. Also, to take the hardness away, what you have got here is, if you've got a mask on, you can go to your properties, and you actually fix the mask up by just doing a feather on it. And that allows it to soften the edges of the image. Perfect. Right, let's go out of here. Let's zoom back and fit screen. Right, there we go. Not much else to do. I think she's pretty much done. I wouldn't mind seeing red a little bit redder, so we can do that. We can go to the I'm going to create a new on top here. Again, I'm going to use adjustment brushes, adjustment layers. I live in adjustment brushes. I live and love them. I'm just going to open up the mask and choose red, and also to pick the specific red that she's got on. And this little indicator here will show you the red. I'm just going to increase saturation a bit, and maybe darken it by 2. And that adjustment looks like really nothing, but quite a big impact. Okay, fantastic. Hope you enjoyed. Masking, part 3.